Nick, can you tell us about your work at the British Ministry of Defence?
Sure, I worked there for 21 years. And from 1991 through to 1994, I ran their small UFO program. My job was to research and investigate the phenomenon, to determine whether there was anything of any defense significance, any threat, anything of more general scientific interest.
Were you the first person to have that position, or was there somebody before you?
Oh, many, many people before me. We had been looking at this on an ad hoc basis since the Second World War.
And what were some of the challenges that you were faced with in order to determine what was a valid sighting? I mean, was there a certain protocol to the work you did?
Well, there were many challenges, but the protocols were actually quite set. We had a standard methodology very closely modeled on the United States methodologies developed in part by Dr. J. Allen Hynek.
In 1948, Dr. J. Allen Hynek was working as the professor of physics and astronomy at Ohio State University when he received an unusual job offer. The U.S. Air Force approached him to investigate UFO sightings. Reluctantly, he joined the special operation, which would become known as Project Blue Book.
At the beginning, I think my father thought this would be a few weekends worth of work just to poo-poo some flying saucer reports from, Mrs. Jones out in Poughkeepsie.
Despite his skepticism, Dr. Hynek approached the assignment with an open mind. As part of his investigations, he pioneered new ways of studying aerial phenomena. Rather than combing through reports, Dr. Hynek personally investigated sightings and interviewed eyewitnesses across the country. Based on his research, he developed a new system to categorize UFO sightings.
We came up with a classification system of close encounters of the first, second, and third kind. A close encounter of the first kind is when you see an object within, say, 500 feet. A close encounter of the second kind is when there's some kind of physical trace, maybe some irradiated dirt. A close encounter of the third kind is where you actually have contact with some type of entity.
Dr. Hynek's meticulous application of the scientific method in his investigations enabled him to dismiss many alleged sightings as aircraft, meteors, or even stars. But curiously, of the more than 12,000 UFO sightings Dr. Hynek's office investigated, 701 remain categorized as unidentified.
What my father was fascinated by were this irreducible core of 5% of cases that could not be explained. There was just something that was too legitimate to ignore.
For many, many years, Hynek really just played the Air Force's party line on UFOs. But finally, as you're really getting into the 1960s, 1966 and 67, Hynek makes his public position clear that this is a serious phenomenon.
That set up a really difficult tension because the Air Force was getting more sort of stonewalling in their attitude, and my father really was convinced that there was a phenomena, but really wanted the word to get out.
But rather than expand the investigation, in 1969, the Air Force abruptly shut down Project Blue Book.